Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Melbourne Metro Recap Show. Tonight I'm joined by Toddy Simmons. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Very good. So where are you, out in the park somewhere at basketball?
Yeah. Jesse got basketball training, so I'm just found a bench in the school waiting for him to finish.
No. Anyway, you can get there, mate. That's fine.
That's it.
No, big weekend in bowls again. We'll get to you shortly, but you're back on the winners list, mate.
Yeah, finally. Took a few games, but that's all right. We got there in the end.
It
So
did take a few, didn't it? You're all right, mate. You're on the winners list.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Just got to get a few more now.
Yes. No, I chalked up another one. Now, seconds. Yes, Croydon seconds got up again. So played Donvale, tried everything we could to lose it, but hung on in the end. So that was good.
Well, that's all that matters, isn't it, eh?
That is. Now, what's news in bowls? I haven't been keeping up to date. I think you said earlier today that the BPL starts today.
Yeah, the BPL's just started today, and I just got off the phone to Ali. We're talking about the team for the weekend, and I didn't realise, but they play 22 games in the knockout. In the sectional play, I suppose, between now and the finals on Friday. So that's a lot of games to play, just as a sectional play as such. 22 games.
So 22 games for what? Finals on Friday?
And then finals on Friday, which will be, I think they play like the top 6 or something. Like the top 1 and 2 play off to go into the grand final, and then the others play off to play the loser to get into the granny.
So how is that going to fare for teams like Clayton, who Ali plays for? Are they all having the weekend off, or are they all flying home Friday night and
they'll fly back in? No, because the event doesn't finish to just roughly 11 o'clock or something on Friday night. That's roughly when it's finished in the past. And then they all fly in first thing, catch the first flight. And sometimes it can be a hard weekend because you finish at 11, and if you've done okay, you have a couple of beverages, and you get back to the hotel at, let's just say 2 o'clock, and the bus picks you up at 4:30 to take you to the airport back for Pennant. So, it can be quite tough sometimes.
Yeah, no. I don't know if I could do that. A whole week's worth of bowling, and then you got to back it up on Saturday, and, no. Yeah. Not my idea of a good time, mate.
It can be hard to then come back and play Pennant as well. When you played on, indoor, good conditions and stuff like that, to then come back, and especially when you're tired and the event's finished. But, hey, that's what these players do, and that's why they get the big bucks, and, that's what they've got to keep doing. So,
what's it mean to get big bucks, mate? What's that?
Oh, well, like if you do well in the event, you do quite well, but a lot of them get paid relatively well to play Pennant wherever they're playing. So, while they can get it, I'm like, good luck to you. Go out there and take it.
Yep, no worries. Now, as per usual, I'll mention this straight up. If anybody wants to ask any questions, go fire away on the chat. If a question for Toddy or a question for me, not that I'm all that knowledgeable, but I'm getting there. Hey, I've actually studied for this week. I have put in some study.
Very good.
I know.
Nice.
Now I'm gonna get something off my chest nice and early. I'm gonna get rid of it. I've been holding on to it for a few weeks, and I wouldn't mind your take on this, because I think there's a systemic problem within lawn bowls, and we need to address it, and it needs to get knocked out. I don't know how we do it. I'm talking about grumpy skips. These people that sit up their end. And I've seen it the last couple of weeks, and not against people that I've played, but I've seen it around the place, especially in the lower divisions, that you get skips that sit up the other end, and they're obviously peed off with their players, and they physically show that in their body language. I heard a skip a few weeks ago, not berating their lead, but you could quite clearly hear him from the other end saying, "Oh, geez, I wish they'd teach leads how to friggin' bowl jacks properly. They're friggin' useless these days." And here's this lovely lady down the other end, and you could just see her head just going,
yeah.
How is this, and especially in lower levels, how is this encouraging for the young people coming through?
It definitely doesn't. And I guess, I think it's very important at club level for younger and more inexperienced players, that the selectors are very cautious as to who they put the particular players with in their rinks, just to make sure that, you know, they don't have to go through that, because it can quite easily turn someone off the game. And like there's always going to be grumpy, we'll call it skippers, but I guess they're the ones that stand up there and, you know, but in every sport there's, you know, you get the grumpy ones and so forth. But I guess in bowls it's a little bit more exaggerated or a bit more noticeable, because we're all sort of standing around in theory doing nothing 99% of the time. When you play bowls, you actually do nothing most of the time.
Yeah.
You just stand there and encourage, and, you know, people don't really know how to do that all that well. And then it comes across and can become quite negative and can be down-putting. I know me personally, I think as I've got older and I suppose wiser, in terms of skipping, I've realised that that's the last thing that I want to be doing, because it then makes it a negative effect on my teammates when I want my teammates playing better. So then I don't have to get the shot, or it makes my job easier.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately it's a lot of skippers think that they're the boss, they're the hero, they're going to win it. And unfortunately it's, you know, they need to be more the captain and the leader as opposed to the boss.
Yes. And
the better skippers, will get better results if they, you know, are helping their teammates, as opposed to the ones that are showing negative body language. That particular person you're talking about, and I don't know who it is.
No, it's just...
When it comes to selection, I bet you they have a lot of trouble going, who's going to play with that person.
Well, that's it. And this is what I ask, and again, I don't know the solution, but should selectors be looking at these type of people and going, we cannot afford to have people like this skipping? Like, I don't care how good you are or how good you think you are. If you're going to have that attitude on a bowls green, I don't want them anywhere near skipping. And that's just my personal preference, because it does no good for anybody.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. But, you know, sometimes it's hard. You know, they've been members of the club for 30 years and they've been skipping for 25 years, and they know that if they don't pick them as a skip, they're going to get upset. And so I guess it's a real balancing act between what's best for the club, what's best for the individual, and I guess trying to come to a resolution or an outcome that not too many people are getting upset with. Because let's face it, a lot of people don't agree with selection. And I've done selection a lot over my time in coaching and being involved in clubs, and probably a bit lucky now. I just sort of help Ali a bit with the top side, give him a few things that I think might work, and then, you know, it's up to him as to which way we go. But I've always been a believer that if people want to whinge about selection, that's fine. Don't just come and tell me what the one problem is that you don't agree with where you should be playing. Pick the whole club. Yeah,
put your hand up and do the job next year and see how easy it is.
But even still, next Thursday, I want you to turn up to the club and give me the list of the top 5 teams in positions for the whole club. Don't just tell me that player A should be where player B is. Yeah. Because that might have been done because of where player C is, for example.
But every club's got that problem. And it's not just lawn bowls, let's be honest. It's cricket, it's footy. Everyone's got a problem with who's playing where and whatever. And again, if you've got a problem with it, put your hand up.
The hard part with bowls is we don't have any stats. It all goes upon how somebody, you know, rates somebody. Whereas, you know, you talk about footy, well, you can't say, you know, if you kicked 5 goals or you had 30 touches, they can't say you didn't play any good. Or you can't say, I had a ripping game and had 2 touches.
Yeah.
You know, whereas in bowls, there's none of that other than the rink. And, you know, so it can be very distorted.
People have got tick systems, but again, I shouldn't use this example, but I will, and I don't care if I get called out on it. There was a particular rink that I know about out of people that were using the tick system, and a 15-year-old got 30 ticks out of 44 bowls. What's he doing playing one of the lower divisions? He should be playing lead to you, mate, if he's getting 30 ticks out of 44 bowls.
Well, that's obviously a good game, but that depends on what they're classifying as a tick, doesn't it? So,
exactly.
You know, yeah.
That's and I've been to coaching seminars and they say, look, the tick system is the way to go. But again, you've got to have a general rule that's got to work across the board, and that's when they become useful.
And then that takes time. That takes thought. Like, I don't want to do we'll call it the tick system. I want to concentrate on the game, how I'm playing, how to benefit my teammates, how to work out how we can get any advantage over the opposition. I'm not worried about what happened 5 ends ago and how many ticks they got. On what's going to happen with the next bowl.
Yep.
So, yeah. But I do see the theory in it. Ideally, you'd have someone sitting on the sidelines doing it.
Yes.
That's the best.
That'd be nice. But
that's too hard. Yeah.
No, exactly. I haven't got enough people playing bowls, let alone having statisticians on the sideline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, let's get stuck in. We will have a look at the results for, I've had my say, that's my grumpy take for the week. I can be a grumpy bastard. Just ask my other half. All right, Premier League, mate, you'll be all over this. What happened in Premier League? We've got Deer Park versus Altona.
Yeah, that was a Friday night game.
Yep.
And Deer Park, well, it looks like they won convincingly in terms of, about 19 shots. But as I said, sometimes that's deceiving that it could have been closer than that. I haven't got any news about that. But there was one sort of big winning rink with Mark Casey over Nathan Wilson winning by, was it 26? So that's always hard to cover in a game, 26 shots. So 14-4 there. And then the other game on Friday night, once my Bowls Link thing works, I have so much trouble with Bowls Link trying to go back into other games, and I don't know if it's just me and I'm doing it wrong.
No, it's fiddly. It's all right on a PC. If you can use it on a PC and go click back to competition, click back and forward, it's fine. Once you get on phones and iPads, no. It's tough, but again, I'll get there. Yeah.
So then the other game, or the live stream game on Friday night, which I got to see the last few ends.
Yep.
And it was a rip and finish. I don't know if you saw it, but Bandura was 1 or 2 in front going into the last end.
Yes.
And the Bandura played a really good end, and the Jack got kicked out to the side. Gary Kelly drew the shot and then drew third shot. So it was Craig Mills then had to, I thought, pop the Jack to, I think it was to make 3 to win the game.
Yep.
But there was a cannon at the front that was going towards Bandura's bowls, which he was hoping to get with his first one, but he missed.
Yep.
And then, he got it. And unfortunate for Bandura, it took out both of Gary Kelly's bowls perfectly, peeled them both out like perfectly, and he stayed for 3, and they got the win.
Oh,
so, if we look at it, that was 20-10 down at that stage, Craig Mills. So his rink nearly cost him, and then he became the hero. So it's amazing what can happen in one end. He might win the game for him. So
that's good. Righto, yeah. Mooney Valley, Melbourne looks like a tight one, fairly tight at Mooney Valley on Saturday.
Yeah, and then I suppose they got there by 13. 7 or so in the end.
Yep.
I know it was the big winning rink of Nathan Lynch, who won by 11, which is always, a double figure is always a big win, and can be hard to cover. So, But then Bryce won by 13. So then it was the other 2 rinks that helped to just sneak over the line for him.
I see Snapper's still bolting ahead. He's going all right, isn't he?
Yeah, not too bad.
I haven't looked at the player ladder for Premier. Oh, geez, he hasn't lost a game. There you go.
Well, I haven't, because I'm not at the top. I'm not up near the top. So.
Todd Simmons.
I was holding quite a few up.
Hang on, Todd Simmons. I'm still scrolling. I'm up to 90 odd. Oh, you'll be there somewhere. I'm not looking.
Would have been easier to start at the bottom, mate.
Ali Forsyth's down there too, 112. There you go.
Yeah.
It's all right. We know it was
we're back. We're back.
Righto. We're on to the Clayton results. Let's get into it.
So it was actually interesting because it was a very similar game to the Bandura game.
Yep.
It was super close all game. I don't reckon there was probably more than about 7 or 8 in our game all day. We were probably about 6 or 7 up, and then Essendon picked up a couple of 3s and a 2 to go a couple in front, and then we were able to win most of the last sort of 5 ends to sneak over the line. And I got a 2 on my last end, which put us 3 in front with the other rink playing the last end. But the advantage for us was our leader put literally a front toucher on, and Essendon's leader had they were only about maybe 18 inches short, but they were like either side of the centre line, and our bowl was a dead set front toucher. and
Yep.
it wasn't far off the tee. And then we just sort of kept going around the back, and we were holding 2. Anthony had 1 bowl left to play, had literally nothing, and tried to draw. And he had maybe, I'm going to say, a bowl and a half to draw second shot to win his rink.
Yep.
And he finished up a bowl and a half and half a centimetre off drawing it. So we got 2 for the to get the draw on the rink, but he was millimetres off playing a ripper to get second shot and get the rink. But yeah, it was good result for us.
Yeah, good result.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're getting there now after last weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Look, to be honest, Premier League, they're all good teams.
Yeah.
There's no easy game, and if you turn up and you don't play it, we'll say 90%, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's how I'd say the Bundoora game, we were reasonable. That could have easily gone either way, but the other 2 games, we didn't play good enough.
Not even close. Yep.
And we got what we deserved.
Yep. All right, let's have a look at the ladder. Look, mate, we're getting a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're getting a bit professional now. What's this? Hey.
Oh.
Righto. So we've got
that.
Moonee Valley and Deer Park and Yarraville Footscray all sitting on 3 wins. Now, the only difference between those, so there's only 6 points between the 3. 3 are up there at the top. And then Essendon not far behind.
To be honest, the ladder doesn't know, man. Yeah. You worry about it after that game, and then it's
here we
all
go.
right. Well, now we've got to,
Yeah, your reception's playing up again. It's all right. We'll just keep going. If you drop out, you drop out.
Hello?
Yeah. Oh, no, there he is. He's in, out, in, out. Hang on. I'll try and find him in the background here, folks. Just give me a second. No, he's still there, I think. Yeah, he is. It's just, Toddy, the reception's, you're sounding like a robot.
Oh.
No, there you go. Now I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Is that any better?
Yeah, that's better, mate.
Yeah.
The joys of being out in the park somewhere.
All right.
You need to speak to Telstra, mate, and get some, or Optus, get some better,
good Wi-Fi.
Get some better reception out there. All right, moving on to Prem B.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't looked at the results. I've been studying Div 1 too much. Oh, and Lucas, to answer your question, I will put up the tipsters ladder next week. Yeah, I know. Lucas has probably picked them all this week, and he probably wants to see his name up top.
He must be going all right, is he?
Oh, I presume so. If he's that desperate to see him, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I want to see my name in lights." Hang on, here we go. Sam McNeil's.
Alrighty, so
Sam McNeil's onto you here, mate. He's made a couple of comments.
Oh, not Sam.
Yes, he's made a couple of comments.
Sam.
Yes.
Yeah, he never leaves me alone.
Sam said -82 is not good enough, my dear friend.
What's 82?
Shot differential. You want to have a look again? Here we go.
Shots mean nothing these days.
I know, but Clayton's shot differential 82. But I think we all know you had a very ordinary weekend last weekend.
That was last weekend.
I know, mate. I know. That's why we've got you on this week. I knew you were grumpy last week. I said, have the week off. Hey, Unch has been grumpy on the weekend. I've given him the weekend off. I've given him the night off. I want grumpy people on this show. Right.
So you'll be off next week.
I'll be off next week. Well, yes, I've got a game. I'm finally returning to my former home. I'm playing at Baronia this weekend.
All right.
So if I don't turn up next week, you know why.
Okay.
Now, all right. Prem Reserve, what do you got for me?
Yes, so I've got Dandenong 14-4 over Flem Kent. Was there 25?
Now,
25 shot.
Was that live streamed again?
I'm not sure.
I have a funny feeling it was.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
Which piques my interest because I have made inquiries last year to people at Bowls Vic, and I was told nobody's allowed to stream against our live streams on a Friday night. And Dandenong did it last weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did it this weekend. I think they stream it. Yeah, 2 days ago. So I don't know how that's
okay.
allowed to work. Again, I've sent an email to Bowls Vic saying, hey, what's the go? Because there was another person that was live streaming via a phone as well 2 weeks ago on a Friday night. Now, I thought that was an absolute no-no. No, Toddy's gone.
Yeah, well,
Oh, there he is.
I'm not too sure about the rules, but
Well, they say, hey,
I'm not too sure about the rules and stuff, but
they say
yeah,
we want to encourage participation, but don't you dare stream against us. Well, when else are we meant to stream? Because all of us play on a Saturday. And over the years, I've had a number of Div 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I've had a number of Div 1 and Prem Reserve teams come to me and say, hey, if we played on a Friday night, could you stream it? And I'm like, no. And they're asking the same question, well, why not? And I'm like, well, what do I tell you? So, anyway, that's another gripe of mine. But I'll dig further and see what we can find out. All right, you there? Nah, you're coming through like a robot again. Try
Can you
again.
hear me?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, now I can.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. Yeah?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Righto.
Well, it's even slow here for me to load Bowls link, so that goes to show you.
Yeah, that's.
And then, well, the big game that I thought would have been a real close game. Have you got me?
Yeah, mate, I can hear you. Go for
Have
it.
you got me?
Yeah.
Was the Melbourne MCC game. So MCC won 2 by 30 shots, and I really thought this was going to be a close game.
Well,
Yeah.
the results you would think, with Port sitting undefeated last week, and MCC also, were they undefeated last week? No, so Port were the only undefeated team, but you'd think, clash of the two top teams would be a bit closer than 30 shots 3 rinks up. Oh, there's Toddy. No, there we go. Toddy's in and out like a robot. I'll bring him back on when I can hear him properly, folks. Oh, there you go.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. Now I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, so Port, MCC.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, sometimes you just get on a rink and, you find it and the opposition don't, and a few things fall your way and don't. And, like Brendan Gallagher beat Brett Dodd by 20 shots. Like Brett Dodd's, super experienced, good player. And, you would never think that that'd be a 20-shot win. And, sometimes we'll say it, shit happens and, things work and things don't and, doesn't go your way. And I guess for this game, it wasn't meant to be for Port Melbourne.
No. Righto, Fitzroy Heathmont. This was a bit of a... I'm sure that's why Lucas is crowing because, he would have tipped Heathmont as he does.
Yeah, at Fitzroy too on the synthetics. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So, look, again, we're talking Premier Reserve. You can never be surprised, but you would have been tipping Fitzroy on the way in to that game. And for Heathmont to come away 20 shots up in all rinks.
All rinks, that's the killer. I know, like when I was playing at Fitzroy, it was such a home ground advantage, that synthetic, because we'd know it literally from N1, and it would take players a few ends to get going. But I haven't played there for years now, so they've got a new green and stuff, so it's completely changed. But it used to be a very big home ground advantage back when it was about 7 years ago. That we would literally quite often be, 30 to 10 up on oppositions before they'd sort of work it out. Something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And once you're out to that kind of lead, then
Oh, it's too hard to catch it. Yeah.
Yep. Lilydale, Whittlesea. Geez, that's a big win by Lilydale at home, which is again one of those greens that can be tricky.
Yeah, it is. I'm assuming they play on the corner green.
Yeah, down the bottom.
Yeah, the corner one. You got the 3.
Yeah, you got
the one
3.
like in the middle of the 2 of them.
No. They generally play down the bottom, down where the car park is.
One like, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I played it played on that once, but the other one was always pretty nice to play on. But
Oh, look, I find both of them the same. I think they're getting a new green outside the clubhouse too, so they'll have three pretty decent greens, sort of one next to each other.
Oh yeah, it's a bit different, that one in front of the clubhouse. So
Yep.
yeah, yes.
Yeah. It's,
But
again, I think they're the council's behind them at Lilydale, so they're last I heard they were looking at putting a new green in.
yeah. So that's a huge win for them, 16-2. And to be honest, like, you're always happy to get 14-4. A win with 14 points is good. 16's great. 18's unbelievable.
Yep.
So, and with only playing 14 rounds and you got, 7 home games, you've got to be, if you're going to be playing finals, you want to be winning.
Yeah, you want to be winning
5 to 6, at least, home games.
Yeah, exactly right. If you can knock out 5 home games, 6 home games, then you're halfway there.
Yeah.
Now here's an interesting stat from my mate Lucas. It's the first time in 3 years that Fitzroy has lost at home.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
I'm sure he's got it on good authority.
Yeah.
Yep. Righto. So I'll put up the Prem Reserve ladder, and then Toddy, you got to get going.
Yes, unfortunately. Yeah.
No, that's fine, mate. All right, Prem Reserve ladder.
Just got a text message. I think I've got to take Jet to the doctors. He hurt his thumb.
Yeah, great. He's probably jammed it. I know what it's like playing basketball. Righto, MCC and Port on top. No surprises. No surprises there. Lily, go on.
Yep. No, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah,
totally.
No surprises there. But Lilydale, Fitzroy, Heathmont and Dandy all tied up on 2 wins. But again, it's only early, but early signs are that Whittlesea and Flemington are struggling somewhat, especially Flemington.
Well, I don't know too much about the Flemington team, but I know quite a few players in the Whittlesea team, and it surprises me that they're on 1 win. And probably Dandenong, I probably would have thought, would have been more likely to be 3, but especially, they trounced one of our teams in a practice game, and maybe we put them in a bit of a false sense of security.
Yeah, it could have done.
Because, they trounced our team, but hey, that's what happens, and, when you're playing for points.
Yep. All right, we've lost Toddy.
Can you hear me?
Nah, you're there. All right, you're back. I thought we might have lost you. Anyway, mate, you better get going. Go and see.
I better go.
Go to the doctors, get your son all fixed up. All right, mate. All right, everybody.
See ya.
See you, mate. All right, we'll lose Toddy there. I didn't know he was going to go halfway through the episode, so give me a tick and I'll fix myself up in the middle here. Righto. So I'll get on to Div 1 results. And again, I've been doing a bit of study here. Wait, I'll fix all my screens up so I can see people commenting and the like. Yeah, Brett Brainer, we won't get into how can Bowlesvik determine who streams what and where. Again, apparently it's, I don't want to get into it again too much, but apparently it's something along the lines of contractually, they're something to do with their sponsors and contracts and blah, blah, blah. Won't get into it. Don't need to. Righto. Division 1, Section 1, Deer Park. I haven't got the scores up. Deer Park defeated Glenroy by the look of it. Silly me. I haven't got the scores up properly. I didn't write them down properly. So Deer Park 75-14 to Glenroy 72. Top of the table clash. So the results are sort of what you would be expecting. Brooks and Westcombe going well with 4 rink wins to start the season early, and Taffy Smith's rink also with 4 rink wins to start the season. Next up, Aberfeldy 55 got defeated by Brunswick 91, all 4 rinks up. So look, as we knew at the start of the year, Aberfeldy's struggling this year. Brunswick haven't lost a game, as we'll see on the ladder shortly. But in saying that, Brunswick have played 3 of the 4 teams outside of the top 4. So they've got another one coming up this week against Yarraville Footscray. So they're more than likely going to be 5-0 after round 5. But yeah, they could, you just never know. As we say with Bowls, And again, a bit of a rink mention, Joshy Corliss, who also plays with Lance Whitnell. I've met Lance around the traps. They're crushing it. They've sort of, as a rink, they're up 52, which is an average of 13, 14 per game. So they're travelling along rather nicely. Next up, Yarraville Footscray, 77, was defeated by Kingsbury, 87. 3 rinks up there. Close games across the board on this one. The largest margin was 6 on all the rinks. The others were 2-5, and Yarraville got one by 3. So pretty close. I'm sure it could have gone either way, depending on sort of the rink results. But, it looked like a good one there. Melton, 71, 2 rinks up, was defeated by Club Sunbury, 85, 2 rinks up. So I'm hoping to have this little champion on in the next couple of weeks, but I didn't know until last night Melton haven't got Lily Dodd, who's taking a year off to concentrate on Year 12. Now, people that don't know Lily Dodd, she's just recently represented Victoria in the under-18s, so I'm sure she's fairly missed there. And if you haven't seen Lily's stuff, she's a bit of a social media superstar, or she was doing some stuff at Melton. Now, go out and get on the Facebook page and check out Melton's Facebook page, and she does a section there called Banter with Bogues. Very funny. It's good fun. Have a look at it when you get a chance. Righto. So, again, good win by Sunbury, who was sitting on 1 win along with Melton, so either one was going to end up with 2. Now, the ladder in that division, as we can see there, Glenroy travelling well on top. 4 wins, haven't lost one. Next to Brunswick and Deer Park. After that, Club Sunbury, Kingsbury, and Yarraville, Melton on 1 win each. And unfortunately, Aberfeldy haven't won a game yet, but I'm sure there's one coming for those guys. So good luck to you guys this weekend. Get out there and get yourselves a win. It's nice to get on the winners list, as we all know. Righto, Section 2. We've got Moorabbin, 78, 2 rinks, defeated by Middle Park, 14. Middle Park were helped by Nathan Zeno's rink with a huge 38-12 rink win, which really was the difference at the end of the day. Moorabbin had 2 rinks up with a combined 14 shots. So Nathan Zeno's rink really made the difference on that one. Middle Park are absolutely rolling, 4 and zip. And Zeno's rink haven't lost yet, and they're winning by an average of 19. So when you've got that kind of start on your side, you're not going to lose too many games. Next game up, Bentley, 75, 2 rinks up, defeated by Blackburn, 90 with 2 rinks up. My old hometown, Bentley, where I grew up, again, is struggling. I've noticed they're trying hard, but they've had only 11 players play the 4 games. So whether they're trying to mix stuff up or they've had players in and out early, you can see why there would be some issues potentially there. Next up, Beaumaris, 81, defeated EEBC. Now, Beaumaris were at home and were second with 3 wins a game. Or they've moved into second with 3 wins a game behind Middle Park. A game ahead of 3-6 in a close section. Richmond Union, 81, 2 rinks, was defeated by Melbourne, 86, 2 rinks. So I'm presuming, I don't know, but I'm presuming this is a local rivalry considering they're next door to each other. Close across the board with the biggest margin being 7. So again, another game that kind of gone either way depending on a certain end and certain shots. So we all know what that's like. Ladder for Division 1, Section 2. If it's going to behave itself, there we go. So, as I said, Middle Park on top, 4 wins, no losses. Beaumaris second there with 3 wins. And then there's a bit of a logjam between 3 and 6, all of them on 2 wins. So that's where points are pretty important. Richmond Union on 1 win. Why have I got Alberfeldy again? I buggered that up somewhere. That's all right. It's not Alberfeldy. It is Bentley on the bottom there with, I forgot to change the Description there. So, yes, Bentley on the bottom with no wins again. I'm sure they'll be trying different things to try and get over the line with a win. Righto, we move on to Section 3. Mitcham, 65. 1 rink up, was defeated by Croydon. 3 rinks up. Most rinks got up by 6 or 7. Jacob Seary had a good one, up by 14. And in a good sign from Mitcham, Andrew Cullen and his crew, very good bowlers, remain unbeaten in their rink for the season so far. They got over the line by 1, so they keep their unbeaten record. Next one, Mooralbark, 79, 1.5 rinks, defeated by Whittlesea, 89 and 3.5 rinks. So a good win by Whittlesea, sees them get their first win for the year. Mooralbark's 3 points were handy because that actually keeps them 3 points clear of Whittlesea on the ladder, as we'll see shortly. Vermont South, 79, 1.5 rinks, defeated by Bundura, 91, 3.5 rinks. Hang on, 1.5 for Vermont South. Unfortunately, Vermont continue to struggle without a win so far. So, and they're losing their games by an average of 20. So, I'm sure they'll be working hard down there to rectify that and get a win on the board. Bundura moved to second with an even shot differential and 1 game out of the top 4. So they didn't. They moved to 2 and 2. Sorry, haven't moved into second on the ladder. And another very, very close one. Yarra Glen, 68, 3 rinks up, defeat Laylaw, 1 rink up at Yarra Glen. So Toddy Simmons and Troy Harston keep combining to just roll along, winning by 14 every week, or an average of 14. Very close games across the board. Biggest margin was 8. And that was Laylaw's only winning rink. Matty Lucas, of course. He continues to roll for Laylaw, winning 4 games for his rink and winning them pretty convincingly as well. So, decent game that would have been to watch, I'm presuming, knowing the crew's there. So, we move on. No, we don't. I'll show the ladder now. I should know it's our division. Righto. So, the ladder after round 4. Laylaw, Mitcham, Croydon and Yarra Glen sitting in the top 4, all with 3 wins. Again, points are pretty tight. There's sort of one between Yarra Glen and Laylaw. There's, a game and that's about it. So 10 points, pretty much 10 points between them. Bundura coming in 5th there, 2 wins, 2 losses. Mooralbark, Whittlesea on 1 win and Vermont South, as we mentioned, just struggling to start the season, but I'm sure they'll come good. But again, it looks like she's going to be pretty close in the top 4 or 5 for that in that section, which is pretty strong. So moving on to section 4, we'll start there. Narre Warren 103, 3.5 rinks up over Parkdale 66. Now this is a good one for Narre, which gets their season going with the win. Parkdale with only 1 win as well. So pretty sizable wins by 2 rinks there, whereas the other 2 were pretty close. So Narre would be very happy with that, getting off the mark with a very sizable win there. Next up, Cranbourne, 58, no rinks up, defeated by Cheltenham, 95, all 4. So both clubs are on 1 victory before this game and have helped Cheltenham score difference, as we'll see on the ladder. So moves them into the top 4, 2 and 2. Stevie Milne and Trevor Stevens cruising unbeaten, although only got up by 3 this week. Mentone Edge, 100, 3.5 rinks up. What is all with these half rinks this week? We've already had a few games going hard, and the Keysborough game next up got a half rink. So heaps of draws over the weekend. Interesting. So Mentone, 100, 3.5 rinks up, defeated Mulgrave, 55. So clash of the unbeaten this week with Melton well and truly on top in this game. Mulgrave have been winning games, but not convincingly. So they probably just had a bad day at Mentone and paid the price. So Brad Foots, another guy that's having a good weekend, unbeaten. He got up by 9. Dean Arthur's rink had a big win by 23, 31 to 8 there. So that made a huge difference in that scoreboard. And last game for the week, Pakenham 18, 2.5 rinks up. Defeated Keysborough 63. So Pakenham, another good win at home to go 3-1. Tommy Lodge's rink got up by 19, which really was the difference. So the rest of the rinks were pretty close. And I think Keysy's rink that they won by 3 or 4. So really that one rink that got up by 19 was primarily the difference. So we'll have a look at the ladder there for everybody. So as we can see, Mentone Edge has got off to a blinding start. They're 4-0. Pakenham and Mulgrave not far behind. So that's why I said Mulgrave and Mentone pretty much top of the table clash over the weekend. So surprising Mulgrave got knocked over by that much. But again, we all know what Bowls is like. Cheltenham coming in 4th on 2-2. And the bottom end, Narry, Cranbourne, Keysborough and Parkdale all locked in on 1 win, 3 losses, with a very close point table there. And even with Cheltenham 2-2, Parkdale in 8th, they're only 6 points behind in the early stages. So early on, looks like Mentone, Pakenham and Mulgrave will be the strong teams in that section. But again, it's only early days. So, all right, everybody, thanks for watching. Hope I was able to give you some results and things to listen to. I did notice there was Andrew McDonald. You wanted to talk about the fly-in rules and how it all must be locked in. If you watch a couple of episodes ago, Toddy had a good couple of things to say about that and what he thinks of the rules. But look, at the end of the day, Bowls Vic have set the rules for what they thought at the time would be a good idea. Like everything, like any change you make, some work, some don't. I don't know enough about the fly-in rules and the permit plays and stuff like that. I know it's been a bit of a running joke about Brad Jenner playing certain places and then other places, and he's a Formula One driver and plays soccer over in the UK. But apart from that, Andrew, look, I don't know enough. So like I said, go back. I think it was two weeks ago. Toddy had a bit to say about that. So, and what else we got? Not much. All right, everybody. Like I said, thank you for tuning in. Sorry that we lost Toddy most of the way through, but I was going to talk about Division 1 anyway. So.